He'll work for less so you can pay him less. The money you save will bring you happiness. That's why all the people in the know say if you love entertainment, you'll love Jeff Adams Show. USA.
Jeff Adams Show.
It's the Jeff Adams Show.
The Jeff Adams Show is
Live from Lakeland, Florida. It's the Jeff Adams Show.
A family unit is the unit that builds up a person's personality. How you behave and what you become in life is very much dependent on your family life. At Embraced by Grace, we believe your family should come first. Children who have a sound family background and who belong to a family with strong family ties are almost always happier. Thus, one cannot deny the importance of family life. Allow Embraced by Grace to show you and your family the way to a brighter future today. Visit us online at embracedbygrace.org and start growing your happy family today.
Oh, yes! Here we are. I think your parents are here still from last week. You can hear them live in the studio audience as we gaze upon all these empty chairs in here. Hey, this is the Jeff Adams Show, an experiment, still experimenting with the chemicals, crazy chemicals called electronics, and trying to get all this thing figured out here in the brand new studios. We are live right now on WLMN 98.5 FM HD in West Virginia, and we like to call him Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But we are exclusively live streaming on the TTV network, Mr. Stephen Haywood, the Wizard of Broadcast Magic's network, and he's off in California enjoying some great work out there. We are live from Lakeland Studios, this beautiful facility here that I've took all my stuff and not going anywhere any soon. Yeah, I think I got so much stuff in here I can't move out of it if I wanted to. But producers Randy and Kris. Kris is actually co-hosting with me. Nice to have you, Kris.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's a voice. And there's Kris. Let's go like this. Kris. Oh, there is it. Kris. There's
yes,
Kris. Yeah, that's Kris. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to have Kris here today. And we were in the pre-show a little bit earlier, and I was saying the thing about chat rooms. The chat rooms were a little scarce. There's Jim's in there now. I don't know who Jim is, but hello, Jim. You might know who Jim is.
Jim?
Yeah. I told him hey, and he said hey. Yeah, the thing about chat rooms when I go into different shows, Kris, is that people like to be heard. I mean, yeah, it's almost like people. It's like Twitter. You want to be heard. And when I go to chat rooms, if the hosts don't pay attention to the chat room, I get a little annoyed and just leave.
I want to leave.
Yeah.
I feel disrespectful.
It's rude. So, give us a few seconds, and we'll, if you're in the chat room and you want to say something, we'll actually quote you. We want you to be part of the show and be interactive. Kris will monitor it and monitor it for me because I have to look like this, and then, my audio goes bad when I do that. So if I do this, it sounds great, but when I do this. So Kris is going to keep an eye on it, and if you got any questions, he'll bring it up. But, yeah, it's great to have you on the show. I know, Kris has been in he was in the services, but he actually, met me on Twitter Nation on my Twitter feed, and he was in the shows, and I said, hey, why don't you check my show out? And he did, and he said, and then he came over here, started saying, hey, I'll help you out. And then I texted him this morning and go, hey, you're going to be co-hosting with me today.
Yeah.
So I think that was surprising for you.
It was.
Yep.
I thought I read it wrong too. It's like
you thought I said you're going to host today.
Yeah. I was like, host.
Oh, I had the runs.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, no, like I can't do this show by myself. And then I'm ready to get on my way here. I was like, oh, co-hosting.
Yeah, co-hosting. I know you want to host. Eventually, you'll be hosting.
Yeah. Once you go on vacation, I'll take over.
Yeah. Once I could roll over dead tomorrow. But speaking of rolling over dead, I've been having back problems, and what is it? What did I say in that thing? Jim is a lurker. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I've been having back problems, and Saturday, it was a little bizarre for me. We were going doing some Halloween shopping for the kids, so I'm walking my kids in the parking lot, and all of a sudden these, I don't want to stereotype, but you can, I'm not, if you look at my family, we're a family of color.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say, because your family's it's very diverse.
It's very diverse. So when I say this, I'm not doing this stereotypical, hey, but it's bizarre. You get, and the sad thing about it is, Kris, you get judgmental.
Yes.
And you shouldn't be. But the perpetrators, they started running. And I didn't know they were perpetrators. They were just running. And they were running fast. It was like 4 black guys running fast in the parking lot. And all my daughter goes, I see their underwear. But I'm just like, these guys are not dressed to, be doing a 3-mile run or whatever you call it, the 5Ks or whatever. Is that a 5K, a 3 mile?
Yeah.
3.5 miles? Or what is it? 3 miles?
It's a half a... Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So anyways, I had looked at it and I go, that's bizarre. And then this other black lady, she started screaming and she had these kids. So what happened, I guess these guys, I don't know what happened, but she was backing out and they rammed their car in the back of her car. Just like, boom, and she couldn't get out and they just got out and bolted. So I was like, okay, what do? I asked the lady and she says, I don't know, they just took off. So I kept my eye on them. And so they went into Firehouse Subs. And then they came out of there, and then they went into Marshall's. So I got on the phone, and I said, will you guys call 911, and I'll go corner these guys. My blood, I started feeling young again. I go, I should have been a police. So I started going undercover, and I walked into Marshall's with my phone, and they started ducking down. So I don't know if they were flushing drugs or anything in the Marshall's bathroom. I don't know at that point. But this other guy started helping me out. He called. Then the guys walk out, and this is probably 15 minutes after the fact, Kris. They walk out, and this other guy, he's calling 911. This other girl picks him up in a Camry and is pulling off. As that's happening, at the same time, the police officer is coming down the same parking lot. Now, I'm 6'5". I'm both running at this point, waving my arms. I go, they're in the Camry, they're in the Camry. And, play this T.J. Hooker. I felt like T.J. Hooker doing this. I don't know if you guys remember T.J. Hooker. But yeah, I mean, I felt like T.J. Hooker chasing this, like that. I was running like that.
So you're telling me that you were running just like that?
And I looked just like him. I wanted to do that. I wanted to jump on the car like that. And the bus, I said, I should do this, And if they took off on an airplane, I kind of want to do that. I did a little tumble like that too. And, to be a police officer, I guess they're so jaded, Kris, to the fact that they deal with this every day. But they could have had these kids. If the guy would have just paid attention and followed my lead, we could have busted these guys.
You say that, I don't know if you remember, I did the whole cop career in the military. So...
Look at that. Did you run like that?
No, I actually let my dog run like that. My dog did that for me.
I wonder if William Shatner probably killed himself doing this show. He goes, I'll do the trunk scene. I actually asked William Shatner when I was doing the show out of my home office. I think it was I actually asked William Shatner to be a Skype guest, and he turned down the show. But I've had some pretty quality people co-host. Danny Boy from House of Pain. Some of the guys from House of Pain and whatnot. But yeah, I think we've seen enough T.J. Hooker. So yeah, hurt my back doing that again. I had to go to a chiropractor, and here I am. But I thought about it. I go, if being a police officer wasn't so dangerous, like you could just pull someone over and someone just shoot you in the middle of the eye for no reason.
No,
someone quit.
It's buffering.
Oh,
it's buffering too bad. Yeah, we're getting that over here too.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep the show rolling because we record it too. So
yeah, exactly. They could watch it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. But if there's problems on our end, we apologize. It's live TV, baby. But being a police officer is hard work because. You can pull someone over and get shot right in the eye.
Exactly. It's for example, one of the most dangerous area when you patrol is a traffic stop, because the officer's at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Because the officer is approaching the vehicle. So I don't know if you noticed, and next time you see somebody getting pulled over, watch what the officer does when he approaches the vehicle from the back. He will put his hand on the trunk, and he will leave his fingerprint on the trunk. So for example, because when you pull over a person, you call it in. So it's already registered that, for me, Cruz pulled over this vehicle. They got to register. So let's say that person kills me.
Yeah.
And then drags me into his trunk. They'll be able to fingerprint, and I was there on that trunk.
Oh, a little secret information there.
Yeah. So it's especially also, they call it the fatal funnel also. When the officer goes into the driver's side, you never know. You could be driving.
Yeah.
And he could pull a gun right there, So it's a really stressful job.
You're starting to scare me. You're starting to sound like a Walter White on Breaking Bad. Oh, what a great plug-in for this one.
Oh, yes.
I was reading the other day, Breaking Bad was probably, at first when I started watching it on Netflix, I didn't know. I was like, man, this is pretty dark. I don't know if I can take it, but I got addicted to it. I watched it all the way through. But I saw this interesting thing. There's some, I think it was a lady down in South Florida. Some of these parents are not happy. The Toys R Us, a toy chain, the toy store chain is selling the dealer dolls. They're selling the Breaking Bad dolls in Toys R Us, complete with bags of crystal meth and sacks of cash. I mean, if you want your kids playing with that. I mean, so they signed a petition to ask Toys R Us to stop selling the dolls. They attracted signatures from more than 2,200 supporters on Monday morning. But the company came back and said the company's latest report shows that they said that Barbie sales continue to dip. So I guess they justified Barbies are not selling, so we can sell Breaking Bad. But they also said the PR person for Toys R Us reported said basically there's a 15 and up identification thing on the packaging. Mm-hmm. So I guess some 8-year-old. But speaking of that, I get annoyed because you have all these there's those figures right there. There's Walter White. It's pretty cool looking.
It does.
Yeah.
It's, for example, G.I. Joes. They represent military.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that the actual kid's gonna join the military. And this part doesn't mean that they're actually gonna become meth dealers.
Yeah, but the kids shouldn't be watching that anyways. And what irritates me the most is, because I got kids. I got 3 kids. And the first 3 Transformer movies, I'm a big Transformer guy. There was just some scenes in there that were kind of sexual.
Yes.
That didn't need to be in there.
Yes.
But yet they market their toys to a young demographic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But basically where I'm getting with this is the movies and stuff. Breaking Bad toys should not be in Toys R Us. Period. I get their Barbie sales are down, but and they continue to dip. But one of the biggest reasons for that is the electronic age. You have all these electronics. Kids like to have electronic devices in front of their face 24/7.
My son has an iPad, and he's 3.
I need to slap you right now because that's just not good, Kris.
It's not.
There's so much stuff. Speaking of police, I don't know if you hear that on the air.
Oh yeah.
Something going on. We're right across the street from the police station. So if you hear sirens going off, we're the real deal. We're pretty safe. We got the police across the street. At least we think we're safe.
Exactly.
We started talking about Breaking Bad. They started taking off. But we are in the crystal meth capital of the world, Polk County.
Yes.
So, but the thing with Barbies, I've noticed kids, they've lost interest in toys a lot. My son's still into them to a certain degree. My daughter's not so much. She's got some Barbies and stuff, but she's kind of I don't need them. Or she says she wants them, but she never plays with them. Mm-hmm. But it's I don't know what it is. I think it's a new era. And what I really think is going to happen is, I think long term, it's just like the music industry.
Yeah.
It's kind of I was reading something. There's no platinum records sales this year. Nothing. Really? None. I came from the music industry. I worked in the music industry for many years, and that's pretty sad. Mm-hmm. No sales in the music industry of platinum sales. And I was telling someone on the phone today too. It's going to be that with movies. And TV. TV right now. There's these bidding wars with Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, they're all bidding. And what it's going to happen is these networks are going to pull out. I think Dish, you decided that, didn't you? Didn't you say something about Dish pulled Turner Broadcasting off their plan?
Yeah, Dish actually, they were trying to combine two companies together. And it wasn't Dish, it was Time Warner and I forgot who it was. But they wanted to combine because right now there's no TV. For example, like you said, the music industry, but I think it's more of the convenience. Why do you all want to go down the street to a Kmart, Walmart, buy me a CD, or I could just have it on my laptop in literally 30 seconds?
But you know what? The thing is, what I'm getting with that is, I get that. I wouldn't want, I'm the same way. I used to value back in the 90s going and buying CDs, looking for vinyl. But I'm not, since iTunes came out, I'm like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But what I'm getting at is, these electronic devices are great things, but when it comes to kids, it's kind of like, it's a little overboard. You saturate kids with electronics, they're going to pull away. And
True.
And now these kids are like, they're addicted to iPads.
Yes.
Just like their parents are, or their iPhones. And it's sad because they don't want to play with the regular toys.
No.
Like I tell my kids all the time, they go, can I watch TV? They get home from school. I'm like, go out and play in the yard. I just bought you a brand new bike and go play. And I make them go play outside because you use your imagination.
You know what's missing? It's missing imagination. Exactly. And for me, for example, yes, my son has an iPad. But, you know, like, for example, I bought him about 36 inches Power Rangers. He loves the Power Rangers. And I noticed that...
But how old is he?
He's 3.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go.
And one thing I noticed with generation that is coming up, there's no imagination. For example, if you ask them, hey, what's the question for this? Like, for example, who is this person? And I actually did it earlier. We're talking about the movie Fury. And what did I say? Oh, let me Google it. You know, and we're getting to that society that we Google everything and we don't use our brain. We have everything in a fingerprint.
Yeah.
So that's where it goes with kids. You know, everything's here.
Well, you know, we went over 2 minutes over break, but we're talking Breaking Bad figures. I wouldn't mind having a Walter White and those Breaking Bad figures.
Oh, no, me
I
neither.
don't know about the toy crystal meth or anything, but...
Do you have a picture of that or we don't?
Yeah, he played it earlier.
Oh, I missed that one.
You were too busy looking at yourself on camera. Oh, that's not it. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. All right, we're going to cut the break, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Hi there, I'm the crazy puppet guy who lives in Jeff Adams' head. I'm the one who gives Jeff all of his crazy ideas. This is the part of the show where Jeff Adams has to go to the bathroom. Why me? He lost all of his sponsors except for GoDaddy.com, so he still has to take breaks so he can use the bathroom. He needs to lay off the coffee, if you know what I mean. The other day I told Jeff that yellow snow was Italian ice. Well, let's just leave it at that. Make sure to call in today at 818-927-6205. That's 818-927-6205. Okay, I'm gonna go tell Jeff to get off the toilet so he can finish this awful show. Cheers, people!
Running my own shop has been brutal. But then I got a domain and built my website all at GoDaddy. Now I look so professional. I just got my first customer who isn't related to me.
Get your domain and website all in one place at GoDaddy.com.
If you don't have a website, what the heck are you doing? Customers aren't scanning the phone book right now when we're not in the 80s for crying out loud with stinking phone books in the first place. All your customers are online. They stepped into the future, like you should. And that's where you should be. For just $1 a month, GoDaddy is offering a domain name, website, and email. They'll help you find the right domain, build a website fast, and stay connected to your customers with Microsoft Office 365. Visit GoDaddy.com and enter promo code JeffGott to join the 21st century like Buck Rogers did, and you should too, and start finding your customers online. Also want 30% off other purchases? Use offer code JEFF30. Also, we can't forget the $1.49.com domain special. Use offer code Jeff149 to take advantage of that offer. Some limitations apply. See website for details.
All right, we're back on the show.
Yes,
Here on the
we
Jeff
are.
Adams Show. And wing-dinger of a show it is. That sign's about to fall behind you. We can't get that J Creative sign to sit still for the life
I know.
of us. It's the guy that nailed it, the guy from Signorama.
We're going to give him a bad review? Is that what we're doing?
No, he just nailed it the wrong way. It's like, and I still have been lazy not to pull it out and deal with it, but whatever. That stuff goes. You overanalyze the set, you look at it, but it's just like, and
I
it
still
just,
can't figure out how you get the city behind us.
oh, it's there. You know, we're on top of the building and it's still daylight outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're here on the Jeff Adams Show talking shop, and you know, it's just kind of really shooting the breeze today. The phone lines are just absolutely not happening today.
Yeah,
I guess you said we had a
well,
phone call.
apologize for that. You know, I looked at it. It said that we had a phone call, and as soon as I was about to say something, they hung up. I guess they didn't want to wait that long.
Yeah, but the TTB network has been completely ghost town this week because Steve's been out in California. So it might have something to do with it. But you know, some of you guys be watching this playback, so live's not that important right now. So it's all good. You know, are you a big Star Wars guy? How old are you, Kris?
24.
24. You're not. You probably didn't get into Star Wars like I did.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, I grew up with Star Wars. In 1977, I remember my dad taking me to see that movie.
That's awesome.
And it was phenomenal at the time. I mean, it was just it just captivated me. And then we talked about toys before the first break, and I got the Star Wars toys. I'd go outside, play with my action figures, and it was a blast. But I didn't know what to think about with Disney World purchasing the George Lucas films.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really know what to think about it, but I'm getting stoked about this new movie.
Yes.
Just because it's a newer story, and J.J. Abrams is directing it, which there could be like this Star Trek more. No, that would be pretty funny. But anyways, I couldn't sleep the other night, so I started researching, just trying to find pictures and information about the film. But I think I do know where the film's going to go. There was years ago on StarWars.com, with these characters, I think they're setting it up because they have the original characters playing their parts. Like the guy that plays Chewbacca is like close to 70 now, but he's getting in the Chewbacca suit. So I don't want to like buzzkill anybody with this, but the reality of it is I think Chewbacca's going to die.
Oh.
Because there's these older stories floating around the web where Han Solo and Princess Leia have 3 kids that are Jedi Knights. And then something was happening with an Earth, not Earth, but a planet or something, and it was about to explode, and Chewbacca got left behind, and then the planet blew up, and the kid had to take the Falcon and get out of there. And so there was this rift between Han Solo and his son because he killed his best friend Chewbacca. Now I don't know if that's going to happen in the I don't know why I'm talking about this right now. I'm getting geekified right now. This is like, but I'm excited about the movie, and this is kind of cool. This is like I found this on the interwebs the other night. This I guess is like the new X-wing fighter, but it's called something different.
Oh wow!
That's kind of I guess what they're going to be fighting in now. But I'm just really excited about where the story is going to go. But the crazy thing about it is what I read is like after the fact. After they get done shooting this film, they're going to do like legacy films. Like they're going to do a Boba Fett movie.
Really?
And then I heard they're going to do like a Han Solo movie, like an offshoot. But how do you get someone to play Han Solo? And if it's not Harrison Ford, because I'm sure if it's a Han Solo story, it'd have to be a younger Han Solo.
Exactly, yeah.
But anyways, I don't know why I got on the Star Wars kick. I just thought I would. I would talk about that.
It should be interesting to see how Disney makes that movie. Because Disney, you know, when you say Disney, I don't think of Star Wars.
Right.
I think of The Little Mermaid. I think of...
Well, they own so much now. I mean, they got the Marvel brand.
That's another thing, too. For me, Disney's getting... Hopefully, they don't ruin the classic.
But you know, there was a kid, I kid you not, you talk about being geektified. I was at Disney World. I was taking the kids to Epcot. There was this kid, and I guess he was... You ever seen that movie, Rain Man?
With Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman. And he's like, and he played like this, Rain Man, I'm a man, and he was like doing this. But there was a kid on the bus. He knew everything. He just started talking to me, and he was just like a guy like Rain Man, and he knew everything about everything like Disney, and he just went off. And I was like, yeah, I should. We started talking about Marvel. He goes, yeah, it's pretty interesting. You know, Marvel was purchased by Disney World, and he goes, correction. There's 2 films that, you know, and he was like going back and forth. And he goes, there's 2 films that they can't touch. They can't touch the X-Men brand. And he goes, and he said Stan Lee sold Spider-Man the Universal.
Yes, he did. Yep.
So they can't touch those. And there's a couple other ones, but he knew everything.
That's awesome.
It was bizarre.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, and people on the bus were kind of like making fun of him, but I was having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Because he was there with his dad, but he was older. He had to be like, you know, late 20s, and he's probably one of those kids that have to stay at home with their parents long term because he just can't care for himself. But man, he knew so much information about Marvel and the Star Wars stuff, Disney. I think Disney's going to do a great job with it.
They should do a great job. And it looks like somebody in the chat room just said, "Wow," so they kind of like the topic.
Wow. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know why I went up on the Star Wars tangent, but I was driving down earlier today, and you know, we're getting close to Halloween. I was driving down Florida Avenue, and you know, would you ever, like, I saw a for sale sign, and it used to be a morgue.
Ooh.
It's a pretty good sized building, but you know, I always see things that drive by, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool building, and I just thought about it. It said for sale by owner. Now, would you ever, like, consider buying anything? I mean, for all we know, this building could have been a morgue. I don't know.
Well, I heard this building was a gas station.
Yeah, it was originally a gas station, and then I guess a guy that delivered furniture here a couple weeks ago in my office, he said and then it used to be a furniture store.
Oh, okay.
After the fact, and then I don't know, and then I think it was something else that Randy told me it was. But anyways, would you ever buy a morgue?
No. Oh, not buy it, but if, for example, if we have like a paranormal activity, you know, if he's like, hey, Kris, I need you to do some investigations, I'm in. But I would not be owner of a haunted. It's already haunted.
Well, how do you know it's haunted?
It has dead people inside. How can it not be haunted?
Well, how do you know there wasn't a dead person in here?
It was a gas station.
It doesn't matter. Someone could have died in the front.
So, no.
I mean, you don't know any place you possibly can go. You ever think? I mean, that's how my mind works. I mean, I always think of the most bizarre things.
That is.
Because I come in here pretty early when no one else is here, and I'm always like first I was like freaked out, but it's pretty peaceful here. There's no weird stuff going on. But I was like walking down the halls. I go, man, you know, what if something bizarre happens here when, you know, I'm by myself? But Randy's got, you know, cameras everywhere.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness. He has like 13 cameras.
If there's anything weird, he'll probably see it on the camber first. So
and I'll tell you.
Yeah, but there's Randy right there. Speaking of ghosts, so basically, I would not buy a morgue. And it's just, there's just this type of, you look in the phone lines. Just tell me if the phone blows up.
No, you're fine. I'm looking over this. It says, what's the topic for today?
Oh, we're just shooting the breeze, pretty much. We're talking about, we've talked about a couple of different things, but we're talking about current events and things. But, you know, right now we're talking about if...
Let's ask him. Maybe would you ever buy a morgue? And we'll wait for your answer.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I would. I mean, what could you possibly put in a morgue? I mean, you could put a lawyer's office. But think about the room where they had to do all that, you know.
The makeup and getting the body ready.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, they said no, they would not buy the morgue either. So I guess we got another person that said no.
No. So, I mean, You know what's bizarre? And have you ever thought about this too? Is when you go, do you want to be cremated or like buried?
Oof. It's a topic. That's an interesting topic. I don't know. For me, I want to be buried. I don't want to be burned. Isn't that kind of weird? You know, I'm avoiding hell. So if I get burned, isn't that like my body going to hell?
Yeah, but you know, I don't know if it's like I've been to 2 different funerals. I've been when someone's cremated, and people. It's something about being in a casket. You mourn a lot more. It's like because you see the dead body in the casket, compared to when someone gets cremated. You know, you just see pictures and stuff, and it's not this creepy dead person laying in a casket. You know, it's not. I mean, I guess with your loved ones, it's not creepy by any means, but it's just it's still bizarre because you still see them in the dead state.
I remember one funeral, and I was in Puerto Rico, and I think it was like 6, and I got to see the body, and I thought it was breathing. To be honest, I could see the stomach going up and down, but it was just, I guess, human thing. We want to see it, the body moving.
Yeah, I read something. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I read something. I think it was in South America. Brazil.
Yes.
Someone was pronounced dead, but they weren't really dead.
They weren't really dead, yeah.
And they were banging on the casket in the cemetery.
In the cemetery, yeah.
And then by the time they got to him, they suffocated.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you imagine going like that? You already you were in some kind of, you were unconscious.
Exactly.
And then you really don't get to die the right way. So you're buried alive in a casket, and then you wake up, and you're banging for your life,
and then you die right there. You know, you're just like, I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think I'll stick to the whole.
But a lot of people say they want to be cremated because they don't want that to happen to them.
Yeah, but what if you're alive and they're trying to cremate you? You're still gonna die.
Of course.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
I don't know. But could you imagine waking up in a coffin?
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know. But I went by a morgue. It would just be too creepy. What would you put in the place where they did all that stuff?
You could probably turn it to like a goth underground
club. Yeah.
You get those kids.
Or a crystal meth lab like Breaking Bad. something to that effect. You know here's how my mind works. We're speaking of like weird things. You know, like the hauntings or whatever. If you bought a morgue, what's with these ghost sounds? I mean, we're not gonna be able to hear it on the monitor. We'll get the clip ready in a minute. But I was listening to it's getting close to Halloween, and people have these sound effects for Halloween, and I just heard the bizarre ghost sound like.
Okay. Yeah.
Who came up with that? Why would a ghost make that sound? Let's pull up that clip, and it's just bizarre. I don't know who came up. I didn't know ghosts made that sound. It's like this stereotypical ghost sound. And the people in the.
Well, that's another thing too. I don't know if you remember the movie Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
When the ghost, they tried to scare the people away, and the daughter says, "Who uses sheets anymore?"
Yeah.
And who said? What ghost came with sheets? I just wanted. That's that one. Like,
well, I have a theory. I'm not going to go there because it's not appropriate.
Okay.
And I think it's probably on the money more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not going to go there. But I mean, that's a bizarre sound because if you watch some of the shows on A&E or something, ghosts don't sound like that. The stuff they're recording on.
Oh, you mean what's Ghost Hunters?
Yeah, Ghost Hunters or
Ghost Adventures.
What was that? White noise. They pick up stuff and white noise.
Oh yeah,
Now I have a theory. I don't think it's ghosts. I think it's demons more than anything. That's my theory. I mean, and that's why people they deal with that stuff and they think it's a ghost.
Medium, yeah.
So I just don't know what the it was.
When I watch the shows like on History Channel. Ghost Adventures, I don't know what channel they are, but most of it's like either a thud or actual words or screaming. I never heard, ooh. That's just not something that I hear a ghost saying. What if you were a ghost, what would you say?
I don't know.
Would you go like that?
I don't know what
I
I'd
wouldn't.
say. I'd say I'm a ghost.
Exactly.
What happened? What happened to me? I'm a ghost. I don't know. I mean, I think I would if everybody had the opportunity to become a ghost. You know, in my weirdness about bathrooms, I think it would haunt bathrooms. Start flushing toilets. I'd give people courtesy flushes. You know.
So like paranormal.
Yeah. Give people courtesy flushes in the bathroom. Like, what was that? You're disgusting. Flush the toilet. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Halloween's. You know, I let my kids trick or treat, and I just don't let them be anything like really demonic. You know, it's pretty scary out there with people that let their kids dress up like zombies.
Man and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby. What show is that?
3 Men and a Baby. What are they talking about in the
Isn't
show?
that a movie?
Yeah.
Where they kidnap the little baby?
I guess so. I thought you're freaking me out when you're reading the monitor there. I thought you had the monitor on your laptop.
Oh, no, it didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work?
No.
Freaking me out when you do that. Yeah, you got anything on Twitter?
No, actually, we got Steve Anderson from Facebook. He said that he wore his badge and shield for 23 years, and he wears it proudly.
That's awesome. Well, he can't, you know, if he can call in, that'd be great. We could talk to him about being a police officer. Nothing on my end on Twitter. Let's look at Facebook, see what's going on there. Speaking of haunted stuff, first thing pulls up, people dressing up, doing weird stuff on my feed. Yeah. So,
since we're talking about ghosts and stuff like that, what you think about Shayla LaBeouf?
Yeah, man, that's bizarre. You know, it was funny. We were talking about that in the pre-show. The funny thing about it is when he started acting like a nutbag. I mean, he just started I'm not famous anymore.
Well, first he started with the plagiarism.
Yeah.
He was plagiarizing literally everything out there, and he actually made a movie that was plagiarized.
Yeah.
And then now he does this. So I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting story. I don't know. I mean, kudos to him if he did, because I knew he was a wreck.
Oh, he was.
And maybe he still is. But the hope of the gospel is, there's hope.
Exactly.
And I guess can you pull that up?
I got it right here.
Ask Siri, and then you might need to lean in your computer.
We're gonna have I'm gonna do a little interview here for Siri.
So, anyways, he said some pretty obscene things, but it's pretty cool that if he did find God, I mean, I think it's pretty rad how he responded, because there's a lot of cheesiness out there. Go ahead and try it. Did you got it? All right. The beauty of live TV.
All right, Siri. So what did he say? What was his comment? Let's see.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant, and it's like I hope Siri.
I found God doing fury. I became a Christian man, and not an AF *************************************************************** Bulls
Play that again.
I found God doing fury. I became a Christian man, and not an AF **********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************
update,
Yeah.
that would freak me out as a ghost voice. If you're sitting there, talk about ghost noises, that would freak me out. But, good for him. He said blanking, he said blank, not in an effing blanking way.
And I think what he means on a hypocrite Christian way.
Right.
And there's a lot of those out there.
Oh, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And it's like every single religion. They have, you got the good, the bad, and in the middle. You got this extreme Christians. You got the Christians that they just go to church.
But what's a hypocrite? I mean, what would you say a hypocrite would be in modern religion today?
A hypocrite would be, for example, you go to church, right?
Okay.
Right after go to church, you go to the bar. That's a hypocrite.
But that's stereotypical, because people from Scotland, the pastors go to a bar and they get a beer after church. It's part of their culture. So if you go over there and you go over to Scotland, because one of my pastors in Orlando, he came from there. When I went to a church, that was part of their culture. So if you actually turn like a beer or wine at the dinner table, it's offensive to them.
Really?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much, like, like when people say hypocritical, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people get themselves in messes, and that's the thing. People look at Christianity or following God as this perfectionism thing,
and it's not.
And it's not. There's grace, but you know when you really you find God, like homeboy from Transformers did. I can't even pronounce Shirov Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or whatever his name is.
Shia LaBeouf.
Why would you have a name like that? Anyways,
that's his parents.
That's bizarre. But I think when I found it, I'm like, good for him. Now you look at what happened to Mark Driscoll. Mars Hill. I was reading some stuff. He had to step down from a church he's been pastoring for 19 years.
Yes,
19
actually,
years.
he was on a conference in Texas, and he got a chance to actually address the conference. And he was threatened. He had to move 19 times because the media actually posted his address on the internet.
Yeah, and then people were throwing stones at their house. Very, very bizarre. But we were speaking about religion. I can't understand, like, especially the Christian faith, of how when someone morally steps out of the boundaries and does something, because, when you find Christ, you still don't even have it together.
Exactly.
And then we automatically judge, and we try to crucify these people.
Yeah, it's, for example, when Jesus was at the outside and the priest came up with a stone, tried to stone the prostitute, and Jesus said, let cast the first stone. No, who are we?
Whoever has whoever's in sin to cast first stone.
Yeah, who are we? Yes, people is gonna mess up. We're humans, but the beauty of the faith is that through Jesus we could do anything. And yes, we're gonna mess up, and he tells us that we're gonna mess up.
Right.
But we have to look up to him, and maybe we don't know the story about the pastor. We can't believe everything. That's another thing too. People believe everything that's on the internet. Oh, just because the internet, it must be true.
Yeah, but it's the first thing, you find things. When I read that about, him, I'm like, well, you know what? He came to fault, about some of his things. He was a control freak, But that who isn't?
You are.
Exactly. I'm a control freak. But I mean, who isn't? Who doesn't have problems?
Exactly.
And I don't get into it. That's why I get so discouraged with, when I read what happened to him, and he said the cuss words about it, I'm like, good for him. He found something real, because he doesn't want to be associated with the other norm of, these people, It's the same thing with, like, U2. When they said they first came to the United States in the 80s, they saw these preachers on TV asking they go, what in the world is this? It was bizarre for him. But good for him, man. I'm really, when I hear stuff like that, people might go, oh, he needs to get with so-and-so, and he found God.
Exactly. We should praise that he found God. Yes, he did say 2 curse words.
Yeah.
But he's so excited. He just found God. So just because you find God at that moment, that doesn't make it perfect. So he's still working on it. We can't judge him because he said 2 curse words right after he said he found God.
That's the best language you can possibly use.
Exactly. The excitement.
The excitement of it. I've heard pastors, from the pulpit one time get mad at their watch at some Pentecostal church. He goes, "The hell with this watch," and throws it off. Because I was thinking about it's time to eat dinner. We've been here for a long time, and So we're just shooting the breeze here on the Jeff Adams Show. I'm glad to have Kris as a co-host. We're gonna cut the break real quick, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Stay connected with The Jeff Adams Show on Facebook and Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at The Jeff Adams. Like me on Facebook, Facebook.com/The Jeff Adams Show. Come to the website, thejeffadamsshow.tv, for special giveaways.
Sean hasn't discovered Audible.com yet. He uses his smartphone mostly for social media, where he's become quite skilled in abbreviated communicating. Sean thought this skill would be good to demonstrate to a potential employer who inquired about his spare time. OMG, I totes heart soch meet. Hire me, lols. Don't be like unemployed Sean. Use your smartphone smarter. Try one of the hundreds of thousands of titles at Audible.com, an Amazon company.
The Jeff Adams Show is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/The Jeff Adams Show. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
You're listening to The Jeff Adams Show. It's creative comedy for ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
I just smell the goodness every time I read this ad. Man Grates, baby. It's been a game changer for me. When the way I grill, I am the king griller when I cook with Man Grates. What is Man Grates? Well, Man Grates are an amazing tool for serious grillers. Constructed from 100% American-made cast iron, these grill grates cook with radiant heat and a more efficient way to barbecue. I mean, you get these perfect char marks on your steaks, your fish, your chicken. It savors the flavor, if you know what I mean. I smell the smoke right now. I love grilling out. Man Grates have changed the way I've grilled. And guess what, baby? I smell the chicken right now. I smell the steak. I smell the fish. I'm getting so hungry talking about Man Grates. Order yours today at thejeffadamshow.tv. You won't be sorry. Thejeffadamshow.tv. Order your Man Grate today.
You got nobody here.
I wish we could do like an angle of like the big room here.
Big room.
It was actually cool having your family here for my birthday bash. That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. You know, one thing, just want to say real quick right here, everybody that is actually watching me through Facebook. Yes, I did comb my hair. And I don't know if you noticed, I take a lot of selfies.
I've noticed that. But what's the deal with you posting that says death to selfie? But
that's actually a Christian sermon.
But wait a minute. I guess it went to your head because you have death to selfie and you have a block in your face. But every hour on the hour, I see from your feed.
And the question is, when is a selfie appropriate or not? And for example,
never.
I think selfies are pretty good to capture your moment right there. For example, we had this thing going on right here with Anderson Cooper and Bendon Jean, I think is his name, where the reporter asked Anderson Cooper to take a selfie with him next to the whole terrorist attack that happened yesterday in Canada. Now, in my opinion, I see somebody famous like Anderson Cooper, I will ask for a selfie, you know. Yes, somebody died right there, but it's just a picture. It would be the same thing if you were sitting right there and I would just take a picture of you, wouldn't it?
But it's just I saw where what did Anderson Cooper say?
Anderson Cooper said, "Dude, you were so rude and asking for a selfie near."
This is from Twitter.
This was on Twitter. This is actually on his Twitter. Was the 22nd October at 9:57. He says, "Dude, you were so rude and asking for a selfie near where a soldier was killed. It was completely inappropriate. Think about it. I can't believe any station employs you. And if you want to be a journalist, learn how to behave when covering a story."
Exactly. Now, you just said I would go ask, Anderson Cooper for a selfie. Mm-hmm. But see, Anderson Cooper, he's a pro, and he had he had every right to say that to that guy because that guy is a dingling, in my opinion. If you're, it's just like it's so rude. It's almost it's like with artists. I used to manage artists, and there's this moment where you're preparing yourself to go on. And you don't want any distractions going on. You don't want people to take a picture because you're trying to prep yourself. And probably what was happening is Anderson Cooper was preparing. He was getting like, wow, this is serious. What happened here? Preparing for it and mentally getting there to share the story live. And the guy comes up out of nowhere and says, "Hey, man, take a selfie with me." That'd be pretty annoying. And plus, it's also disrespectful. I mean, Cooper nailed it.
He did. I'll give him that. He did nail it by saying, if you want to become, but it's a picture. But he's not asking for an autograph. He's not asking to get out. He's asking for a picture. It takes 1 second to take a picture.
Granted. Let's think about that. If it was somebody that was not a journalist, okay, I get that. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, that guy is a professional journalist. It's his job, and it's disrespectful. It's so disrespectful. Someone trying to get in the zone of doing reporting, because he does all this stuff live, and he's pretty phenomenal at it.
He is.
You try to knock him off his A game. Hey, take a selfie with me. So when I read that, I laughed. I'm like, man, good for Anderson Cooper, man. He's actually. I got a lot of respect for him because he was from the Biltmore estate, part of the Biltmore family, and he totally changed his name and disassociated with that. Biltmore people, yeah, they have that big Biltmore mansion in Asheville, North Carolina, but he changed his name and disassociated and didn't take any family money inheritance and just made it on his own.
That's good.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, what would you do? I thought about that too. It's like, man, if I was reporting something serious, which I don't think I ever could.
Oh, me neither.
I just don't have it on my DNA.
I'm a goof.
I can barely do this. So you get prepared. I mean, just mentally. I remember I was an artist. I before I hit the stage, I was like, I had to mentally prepare myself because you don't know what's going to go on, and you got to be prepared for stuff to go on. It's a lot like this. I mean, it's like performing. You don't know if a camera's going to go out, lights are going to go out, the switching's going to go wrong, something's going to happen.
What about? Did you ever get like any gifts, like toys?
From what? Performing?
Yeah.
Toys?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, toys?
Like somebody would. I bet you had like a dressing room. You never had nothing waiting for you in your dressing room.
Oh, you're setting this one up.
Yes, I am.
Little radio. I was like, toys. At least be a little. Yeah. Toys. What are you talking about? Toys.
Toys.
We were talking about toys earlier.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's get to these toys. We got about 8 minutes left, and we're gonna be like cut off live from the TTV network. And I appreciate Steve setting this up. And he's in California. We'll be able to stream live. It's been a pleasure. But yeah, that was a good segue. Thanks for saving me there.
You got it.
Man, not one phone call a day. That's been like the first. And
we had one. That was my fault. And I apologize whoever that was.
Probably like in 13 episodes.
Really?
The first. Let's get with these toys real quick so we don't run over time. These are the worst toy ideas ever. And I didn't make these up. These are strictly from the Reb. Breastfeeding baby doll. Nobody wants to see an 8-year-old breastfeeding a baby.
That's just awkward.
That is very awkward. Let's get a little laugh about that. Oh, there's a little clapping. Yeah, they're clapping at that picture.
Yeah. It's kind of inappropriate also.
Yeah. I meant to hit the laugh button. So, it's a train wreck. Oh, let's get to the next one here. And they're still clapping.
They're still clapping.
Oh, thank you.
I remember those toys. So you went sideways and they make like noises?
Yeah, that was this is called the jibber jabber. For me, okay, the jibber jabber is a doll that makes noise when you shake its neck. You wring its neck even harder to make it shut up. I predict problems down the road for parenthood that people had these dolls. Chris, did you have one of those? Do you shake your 3-year-old like that?
Baby shaking syndrome, is that what they're teaching them?
Jibber jabber doll. Speaking of jibber jabber. So yeah, I don't know about the jibber jabber doll. All right, number 3 is the jelly bath. The jelly bath. The jelly bath is a tasteless jello-like bath of goo for your children to play in. It really feels like a bath of goo. Really sums up how terrible this product really is.
Isn't that like Nickelodeon? Don't they do that like? Do they get to eat themselves out of the bath?
Well, these are really bad toy ideas. Whoever made this probably doesn't have a job. Think about it. The jelly bath, you can't even get in. What's the point of that? Do you put your fingers in there? You put your Barbie in there? Look at that. What do you possibly do with that? Hey, let's make a bathtub and fill it full of jelly.
Look at the kid. He's happy about it. He's like, yay, I got a jelly bath now.
But look at the size of that. What can you do with that? What is the point of that? It's the stupidest toy I've ever seen in my whole life. Now, this one's kind of offensive to me, but, I don't know where this one came on. This is called the God Almighty action figure. And this is a real toy that was manufactured. And from Jesus Christ Superstore comes the God Almighty action figure, complete with an AK-47 to help kings rain down on the Almighty's wrath. Now, I don't know, maybe it should have been Allah Almighty.
Allah, I was going for that, Allah Almighty. If for me, for example, if we're gonna make a god, what's with the AK-47? Like, who are you targeting by putting an AK-47?
Well, God had some wrath. I don't know if he used the AK-47.
I don't think he used that either.
He used like fire and brimstone,
and
or
water,
just having people roll over and having a heart attack. But the God Almighty doll, that wasn't a big seller, I don't think. Number 5, the Playmobil hazmat figurine set, the Breaking Bad set. Meth is fun. The Breaking Bad Playmobil set. Look at that. Let's make meth. Get out of suits. All right, number 6.
Right now for the Ebola right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good for the Ebola too. Make Ebola. I don't want to talk about Ebola. Number 6. Let's pull this up. This is the Doors Aqua Pet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll just go on to number 7 because it's just they need to be fired.
I thought this was a family show.
This is a family show. Let's go to number 7 real quick. And
he made it bigger.
Yes, Randy. Kaba Kick. Kaba Kick is a Japanese answer to Russian roulette for kids. Kids place the gun to their head, pull the trigger as pink hippo feet comes out and kicks them in the noggin. No kick, and the kids gets the points for having survived. Pretend suicide has never been so much fun, kids.
So it's always fun to commit suicide. It's so much fun.
They need to be fired too.
Yep.
Number 8, Lightning Reaction Extreme. A game of skill, as players must hit the light before their opponents or receive an electrical shock. Nothing equals family fun like electrocution. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Did I get electrocuted?
Electrocuted, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that game either. What's the point of that game? I don't know. Number 9.
Yes.
Pole dancing doll. I don't think
there
so.
We go.
That person needs to be.
You would not buy that for your daughter?
Absolutely not. Whoever came up with that should be like thrown in prison.
You know where he was when he came up with that idea?
Yeah, but that's just stupid. That's just next. That person needs to be fired. Horrible. This is the Playmobil TSA replica security checkpoint.
I bet they do more than the real TSA.
Yeah, they should have probably mixed they probably should have mixed the first one with the Breaking Bad one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because that's what's going on at the check thing.
You got both current events going on right now on toys.
Yeah, if you buy both sets, it would equal security check now.
Exactly.
They intertwine with each other.
Exactly.
And this one is very bizarre. This is the hairy baby, and this is actually a toy from Japan. It's a hairy baby that you shave. What kind of childhood would ever include such freakish things? Get it together, Japan! And plus, the crazy thing, it doesn't even look like a Japan doll. No. They're making fun of us. They're making fun of Jeff Adams being a hairy person.
Exactly. Either that or Elijah from the Bible.
Yeah, that's true. That is Elijah. But the thing is, I would want to know about that is how do you shave it? Does it come with a shaver?
It doesn't come with a shaving kit.
And once you shave it, does the hair come back?
Does it come back? Exactly.
Or do you press a button? I don't know. And number 12, before we get going, is the kid's tattoo gun. Nothing says Polk County like giving this to your son. Let's make tattoos. And I love how they make the kid have his hair back and his long hair back. Let me get this tattoo down here in Polk County.
Love the hat. You got the hat. You got the camel hat.
Let's be like Daddy and do illegal tattoos in our house. This toy is actually pretty awesome. It's I think it's cool to invite your buddies over and do some tats.
Oh yeah.
My buddy did my ring finger for my marriage. He did it. But he used to be a tattoo artist. So that wraps up the show. Thanks for Kris for hanging out. And if we put you to sleep, this is a good show to when you're trying to go to sleep.
Oh yes.
Go night night. Play the podcast. Go night night and fall asleep to Jeff Adams Show. Thanks, Kris. Randy, thanks for producing the show and everybody else helping out. Trying to remember your names. It's not coming to me, but I'll probably remember it after the show. But next week we'll be back on the Jeff Adams Show. Peace out.